So, how's everyone doing today? I'm anti woke and autistic. Have you heard of Mary Fran? She's a morbidly obese TikTok influencer with 1.1 million followers. Not too long ago, she had this to say.
Just a reminder that I am very fat and very sexy. And I am 100% glorifying obesity. And there's nothing you can do about it.
That video inspired another TikTok influencer, but who's slender and fit. Her name is Nami or Namai. It's spelled Nami. And Namai or Nami, I'm going to call her Namai. Namai said, you can be happy, you can be confident, great. But what we're not going to do is glorify unhealthy behaviors. That posting by Namai triggered a lot of people, and as a result of it, Mary Fran received more so-called body shaming. Namai then says, how the F do you get cyberbullied? Turn off your phone. There's literally a block button for a reason. This article appeared on an online publication called Your Tango. So the Your Tango article then says in a subheader, sadly, Namai's videos prompted Fran to receive hateful messages. Responding to the outpour of harassment, the body positive influencer uploaded another video regarding the heartbreaking ordeal. And I'm going to show you that video, which is just outrageous, in just a second. I first want to point something out here. This whole thing is being referred to as heartbreaking. Since when is it heartbreaking for a TikTok influencer with 1.1 million followers, which means she's making a good chunk of change every month? Since when is it heartbreaking for somebody like that who receives literally hundreds, thousands of praising positive comments, yet receives only like a small percentage of those comments that she receives are so-called fat shaming or negative in some way? Since when is that heartbreaking? I thought heartbreaking was when, for instance, you break up with your lover, or you find out your child has a serious illness, or your beloved aunt was hospitalized in a car accident. That's heartbreaking, not getting a negative comment on your TikTok account. People need to grow up and start playing the part of victim. But anyways, I'm going to show you, I'm going to pull that up here.
I don't know if I will ever understand how somebody could have so much hatred and anger for somebody they've never met. Never met me. But they seem to feel comfortable enough to sling horrible.
Just want to cut in here and say something. Seems to me it would be less upsetting if a negative comment came from a stranger than if it came from somebody who's personal in your life.
Horrible names and issue really scary threats and release personal information with the threat of being hurt.
I don't know what kind of threat she got and what she means by releasing of personal information, but I guarantee this, and you're going to soon realize this, she's not falling apart and unraveling because she's afraid for her life, because she thinks who's ever threatening her is going to come seek her out and abduct her, all 350 pounds of her, like that's going to be easy to do. She's melting down here because she can't take criticism. That's what it boils down to.
All because I dare to exist in my skin. People who hide behind their keyboards, not people, cowards. You are a coward. And for the person that made a video today of me, that duetted a video
A coward is somebody who cries and sobs and falls apart at the drop of a dime.
about how I'm okay with being quote unquote obese. It is the skin that I'm in, and I get one life, and I want to live it unapologetically. And the fact that you made a video with very much pick me energy, I really do hope he picks you. I really do. That you made a video and sent people to my page.
In case you didn't get that, she said you made a video, meaning not me, and sent people to my page. Isn't that how you ultimately gain more followers and get more engagement and make more money? And she sobbing about that?
Who are commenting horrible things. I feel sorry for you. I do. I feel sorry for you. And I'm sure you think to yourself, how could a fat bitch like that feel sorry for me when I look like this? Because I have people in my life that love me exactly the way that I am. I have a person in my life that loves my body exactly the way that it is and celebrates it.
So if she has a person, a significant other in her life who loves her body just the way it is and has people in her life who love her just the way she is, of course that's great. But assuming that's true, it seems illogical that she would allow comments from strangers who may live halfway around the globe for all she knows to upset her so much. If everything in her personal life is going so wonderful, everybody loves her, her family, her significant other, her pets if she has any, and they don't care what she looks like. Why is she so worried and concerned and upset and distressed and distraught about comments on her TikTok account from people she's never even met, people who have no control over her finances, no decision making power over her, no way to interfere with her life as far as what she does from day to day. They literally are fonts in a comment section, and she's allowing them to take up rent in her head for free.
But I just, when is it
First world problem.
going to be enough? Like, when are we going to say, okay, you can just exist in peace? Like, you can post your stuff and I'll do my own thing. And the answer is never. Because being fat is never going to be okay. And God forbid a fat person be okay in their skin. Because they're punching bags.
But she's already proven herself to be a punching bag simply by making this video where she's exhibiting the inability to face life's unexpected curveballs, the curveball being a negative comment. Oh my goodness, a negative comment. What does she expect? She's putting herself out there for the whole world to see. She expects that everybody owes her praise. She expects everybody to owe her attraction. And if they don't, they're horrible people. And she's allowing it to shatter her. That is a sign that she has some major problems going on, way more than somebody who's just joking around and sending her an unpleasant comment.
And I won't be a punching bag. So I don't know what's going to happen with me on here. Because I feel like this is no longer fun. This is no longer fun for me. When I get on here and I check my comments and it's just hundreds.
I'm not so sure hundreds of comments are negative. I'm not so sure about that, but if hundreds of comments are negative, she's forgetting that way more, perhaps thousands. Remember, she has 1.1 million followers. Way more are very positive to the tune of, oh, you look amazing. You are beautiful and sexy just the way you are. You're perfect. Don't change. Oh, I wish I had your confidence. Oh, I love you. Oh, you're so inspiring. She gets tons and tons and tons and tons of comments like that. yet claims there's hundreds of comments that are evil and like calling her a road hog. Look, so what if people you don't even know are calling you a road hog? What human being has never been called a name? Even somebody with classical beauty and a traditionally beautiful body sooner or later gets called a nasty name. Every child in school gets called a name. When I was in junior high, several girls started calling me Martian. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I acted like an alien. Remember, I'm autistic. But I didn't cry. I wasn't even upset. I was puzzled why they would call me a Martian of all things. But kids are always calling each other names. Sometimes they get called stupid by each other or dumbbell, or in grade school there was this one girl, if she got mad at you, she'd call you a twerk pop. What's a twerk pop? People got called names. People, when I was in high school, my senior year history teacher, if you didn't know the answer to a question, if he called on you, he'd call you a squid. And everybody would always laugh. Whenever somebody was called a squid, the whole class would laugh. People go through life getting called names. This woman either never got over that, or this is the first time in her entitled, coddled life that she's being called a name, not even to her face. And it's shattering her. It's whatever happened to sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Don't we learn that like in the sandbox?
Of comments calling me roadhog and disgusting, and it's not fun anymore. So I gotta take some time. I'm gonna turn my comments off.
She's thinking of turning her comments off, taking away some fun or pleasure from her fans just because of a few nasty comments, or a small percentage, I should say, of nasty comments, turning her comments off. This woman is as fragile as wet tissue paper, yet she's seen as an inspiration by thousands and thousands of followers. How can somebody be inspirational when they're as weak as wet tissue paper? She doesn't love the skin she's in. If she did, she wouldn't be breaking down this way. If you love a physical trait about yourself that you have no control over, if you truly are at peace with it and feel good about it and love it, or are happy with it or satisfied with it, or it doesn't bother you, a million people can make negative comments about it, even the most cruel comments, and it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to faze you. It's not going to move you in any way. It's not going to shake you up in any way, in any shape, way, or form. Because if you truly feel good about something about your body, it doesn't matter what any other people say. It's just not going to bother you. And I'm going to use myself as an example. I've always been very small on top. In fact, my breasts have never been able to fill out an A cup. I've always been a sub A size breast, very, very flat, very, very flat. I don't even have a cleavage. I can never wear low cut shirts because there's nothing there. But it never bothered me. At no point in my life was I ever upset that I had very, very small breasts. At no point in my life was I self-conscious about it. At no point in my life did I want bigger breasts or envy classmates whose breasts were growing faster than mine or were bigger than mine or who could wear low cuts. I am telling you the truth. I've always been so glad and thankful that I've I've been born with small breasts. Yet, for many women, if they woke up one day with breasts as small as mine, they would be devastated. It would be very distressing. And that's very believable because one of the most common plastic surgeries is breast augmentation. So, if 1,000 people post comments to this video and make fun of small breasts and say all sorts of things like, you'll never find a man, no man wants a woman with small breasts, you look like a man, you look masculine, Let me tell you, it won't faze me a single bit. So bring it on. It won't matter. I'm like a battleship, and those comments are like a spitball on me, a spitball on a battleship, because I'm truly comfortable with small breasts. Why am I comfortable with small breasts? Well, one reason is because they don't get in the way with sports. I've always been athletic, and I don't want these big knockers bouncing around while I'm jogging or hiking or running downhill or playing volleyball or doing martial arts. So back to Mary Fran, she is not comfortable in her skin because all a person has to do is call her a road hog and she falls apart. Mary Fran needs therapy because she's allowing something so trite, so trivial to break her, to wound her, to bring her down to tears. How does this woman get through life? Because you can't go through life without somebody sooner or later saying something mean to you or being rude or thoughtless or inconsiderate. There are rude, thoughtless, and considerate people on the road. There are people like that where you work. I don't know if she has a regular job or she goes someplace, but certainly she's run into coworkers who were rude or thoughtless, not because of her size, but just because that's just the way life is. If you're working around people all day, sooner or later, a coworker, your boss, the manager, a customer, a client, sooner or later, somebody's going to snap at you or say something negative or unkind. Maybe maybe a neighbor maybe said something to her one day, hey, you're parked in my spot, you idiot. That's life. How does this woman get through life if she can't even handle negative comments on her TikTok? How does she get through life? She needs therapy. She needs mental health counseling. Her mental health is in a very poor place. If she's truly confident, if she truly loves herself, if she truly has body love, self love, high self esteem, high self confidence, high self worth, and all that jazz, if she truly has all of that, then there's nothing that anybody could say in the form of a comment that would in any way shake her up. Now, it might be annoying. Yeah, it's human nature. It's normal to get annoyed. Oh, he's not going to comment. Just block them or delete them. That's one thing. But she's falling apart. She's unraveled. She's breaking down. She's crying. She's wiping her eyes and just behaving like a small child who's been bullied on a playground. There is a slim possibility that this whole entire video staged. Maybe it was rehearsed several times. Maybe parts of it were scripted and she memorized it. You got to remember that there's a lot of actors, a lot of good actors on TikTok, and it's very possible that Mary Fran was pretending to cry, pretending to weep. She kept wiping her eyes for dramatic effect. Maybe she wasn't really crying. I couldn't tell if there was water in her eyes. If her eyes were watery, maybe she put a wet sponge to her eyes before the camera started rolling. Who knows? But that whole thing could have been an act. And if that's the case, she's being fraudulent to her followers. On the other hand, if that's not an act and if she really truly is fragile, and by the way, I think it was not an act, I think that was the real thing, that was the real deal, then she's still being fraudulent because she's been passing herself off this whole entire time as a poster child or a bastion of self love, body love, plus size confidence, high self worth, yada, yada, yada. Yet now she's contradicting that and doing just the opposite. And both of those cannot exist in the same body. One is fraudulent. And I think all the messages of positivity were the fraudulent ones. And that's the real one that you just saw. So she's been fraudulent or lying to all her followers. We really don't know what goes on behind the scenes of these TikTok videos. She presents as happy, living a life of rainbows and unicorns, but we don't know if after her, oh, I'm so happy and fat and sexy, we don't know if after that initial video, we don't know if after that she sat down, rubbed her aching knees, took a painkiller, lie down for 30 minutes to rest her aching back, maybe felt really upset with herself for overeating earlier in that day. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Fat activists often say that TikTok and Instagram is unrealistic, that we shouldn't always believe what we see when the person is fit looking and beautiful and has traditional beauty and a traditionally beautiful body, that it's all fake, it's posed, they do tricks, filters, and they're not really living such a perfect life. Yet these morbidly obese influencers want followers to believe that they are living the perfect dream life. Well, it can't be one way for one demographic and another way for another. It cuts both ways. And Mary Fran is showing us that she's not as happy and self confident and emotionally and psychologically and mentally healthy as she's been presenting herself to be. Because if she was, she would not have posted a video where she has absolutely been shattered to pieces by a font, by text from somebody she's never seen or heard, and for all we know, lives in a cave 10,000 miles away from her. Well, that's all I have to say about Mary Fran. Have a good day.